MC for tonight's evening. I'm proud Albanian and I live and work in village, region area, Greater Shepparton City Council, or Greater Shepparton, and my role is as a multicultural engagement officer for Greater Shepparton City Council. Before we begin tonight's program, I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather tonight. I pay my deep respects to the elders, past and present, and extend my respect to all First Nation people joining us tonight. Before I get started, I would like to welcome everyone, and it's a pleasure meeting you all. But I would like to make some acknowledges. Particularly, I apologize if I pronounce names wrong. I hope not. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank you for being here tonight, Mr. Jamal Hassan, Mr. Dogan Ferhat, Ms. Hazal Obuzgaya, and Mr. Ali Yodim, which I had the pleasure of meeting just earlier. Welcome, and welcome again, everyone. In my role, I have the privilege of working closely with diverse communities, including many local businesses owned from diverse community people that reflect the richness of our culture landscape. Tonight's theme, Smart Business Strategies for Better Business Results, is especially meaningful as it speaks to the power of diversity, innovation, and collaboration in driving business success. We have a fantastic program ahead. First, we'll hear from our keynote speaker, Dr. Hassan Younes, a serial entrepreneur, best-selling author. Next, we will welcome Dr. Francis Aqua, Clinical Director of the Positive Wellness Recovery Center, and lastly, my friend, Abdullah, an international lawyer and strategic advisor. After the presentation, we invite you all to enjoy the delicious buffet dinner and live music entertainment. A chance to relax, connect, and celebrate the spirit of innovation and community. Now, I would like to thank Tony, the co-founder of tonight's event, for having me here, and I would like to invite him to deliver the welcome message and officially open tonight's event. Please join me in welcoming Tony.
Here we go again. Thank you very much, esteemed guests, fellow members of the multicultural business community. Tonight makes a milestone of our newly formed association, the Multicultural Business Enterprise. To see so many familiar faces, members, and friends, we can all, as Maura said, she already said everything. I wrote her speech, so I'll take it. So I thank everybody for coming and supporting us, not only for tonight, but in the future, so we can get bigger and better and more members. Tonight, you're going to take home knowledge. We've got 3 speakers, and you will not be disappointed. We try to cater for everybody, and the problem is one person that doesn't get mentioned a lot is Jaina. Please put your hands together for Jaina. So whatever she said about her leg, don't believe her. So tonight, please enjoy yourself. Don't drink too much. Don't eat too much. But listen to our guest speakers. Make them feel at home. Like that, everybody enjoys themselves first and foremost. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Tony, for the warm welcome and for organizing tonight's event. Now, it's time to hear from our keynote speaker, a dynamic leader who whose work has transformed the way businesses grow and innovate. Dr. Hassan Yunus is a serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, international keynote speaker, and business leadership strategist, widely known as the Business Activator, a long title. With a bachelor degree in aerospace engineering, first-class honors, and a doctorate in business administration, leadership and management, Dr. Yunus brings a unique blend of scientific thinking and executive strategy to drive organizational change and sustainability business growth. Over the past 2 decades, he has built platforms that empower authors and founders to become expert authorities and industry leaders. He also served as president of Professional Speakers Australia, Victoria and Tasmania, and leads the ABLE group of companies, including ABLE Publishing Press, ABLE Creative Solutions, ABLE Nexus Fair, and the Lead Business Academy. Dr. Yunus is known for delivering practical and strategic business frameworks that bring ideas to life, strengthening teams, and promote ethical, adaptable leadership. Tonight, he'll challenge us to see reality clearly, act decisively, and master the inner game of strategic business growth. Please join me in welcoming the stage Dr. Hassan. you so much, Sam, for this powerful presentation. It was lovely listening to you. And there are some insights that for all of us that are very valuable, not only running a business, but developing yourself professionally and personally as well. Well done. Okay, so next I'm honored to introduce an inspiring leader and passionate advocate in the field of mental health. To run a business, you have to be mentally right too. So we looked after you and you brought in here a professional. So Dr. Francis Aqua, the clinical director of the Positive Wellness Recovery Center and the president of Mental Health and Wellbeing Foundation, which is a charity operates locally and overseas, has made a lasting impact through his work in trans culture mental health, with over 40 years of experience in the mental health industry. His leadership includes initiatives like Project Sunrise and alcohol and other drugs outreach and education program developed under the Victorian African Communities Action Plan, funded by the Victorian State Government. This program is helping improve health and well-being outcomes for young African people across Victoria. His commitment to research and leadership was recognized in 2022 when he was appointed to the board of the Australian College of Mental Health Nurses. His organization operates from Calcutta, Melbourne, and proudly serves our community through its regional office here in Shepparton. I say here because I'm from Shepparton. And particularly in High Street, close to my work. Most recently, in 2024, Dr. Aqua was appointed a member of the Order of Australia for his significant contributions to mental health care in the community. Tonight, he will speak on a topic that resonates with all of us: work-life balance and reducing stressor in business. Please join me in welcoming Dr.
Well, I hope you're all starving. I'm starving, so I'm going to make my speech very, very short. Ladies and gentlemen, in my country we say all protocols served.
It's good for mental health.
All protocols observed, especially having our dignitaries present. It is a great honor for me to be here today to just share a few thoughts for us and for this organization, the Elite Multicultural Business Enterprise event. We are surrounded by passionate entrepreneurs and business leaders. And today we are looking at our diversity, innovation, and resilience in the community. What a thoughtful program that Doctor has just shared with us. For us, it's about how do we sustain ourselves in business? How do you become successful in business? How do you reduce the stress in your business? How do you think ahead? Like Dr. Dr. Youngs have said, really, for me, I'm thinking about my next flight, and not business class, actually first class. But I also agree with what we started thinking about. A lot of us go into business, and our first thoughts is about the profit. Is that what we should be thinking about? No. We need to create growth. We need to create jobs to enable investments in people and the community. We think about profit as a short-term gain, but really like Doctor has just said, at the end of the day, we're not going to be here forever. So more thinking about the value of our business. A lot of people go into business, as I've mentioned, and profits cannot be guaranteed. The long term. In the short term, we get a lot of business shock. How do you think about the basics of your business? The financial aspect. I'm not good at maths, so I avoid thinking about the finances. My service manager is here. They look after the finances. My computer expert is here, or my IT is here. I don't have the brain space for more technology things. Even the iPhone, they give you something called an app. And everybody now wants you to use an app. You go to a restaurant, you want to eat, you want to use an app. Why? QR code, human beings. So I get to places and they ask that question and I said, no, I want a human being. Legal aspects of business. Have you got insurance for your car? Have you got insurance for your business? These are basic things that we need to think about. Our reputation, even human incidents. Do you know that we are now being forced to allow people to work from home? Or, on the other hand, people actually tell us, I am sick today, but I'm working from home. How does that help your business? What is your strength of your policies that you are using? Are you compliant with the basic laws of your given business? Are the rules changed almost every day? Just for the sheer thing. Anybody works in the NDIS by any chance? Or HK? The rules, regulations, in fact, keep changing every minute. Are you across those things? Are you registered to operate within the law? These are basic things that you need to think about. I'll give you one practical example that we encountered recently. We had an incident involving one of our participants, a client with disability, who unfortunately caused a harm to another person in the public setting. While the client is disabled, was the main factor. It didn't exempt us from a public liability claim. So, yes, it's okay, you have all those things, but have you got your risk management in place? It doesn't matter how small or how big your business is. We need to have robust, clear compliance protocols, validated public liability insurance in place to protect our business. Look at our poor, our esteemed Gianna there. We appreciate you. Please give her a hand of support. It is critical for us not to think in the short term, but to have, like we've got there, long-term strategies to safeguard our operations, our people, and to develop a peace of mind. Work-life balance is directly for each and every one of us. For me, I talked about the wheel of life. How do we balance our life? When did you last take your last holidays? Is it a holiday, or were you working 24 hours while you said you were on holidays? My 2026 holidays already planned. If my staff doesn't know, it's going to be a fabulous holiday. Are you exhausted in your business and therefore everything becomes too stressful? How do you balance your life? How do you put those strategies in place to ensure not only investing in yourself, working on your business rather than in your business, but also taking care of your staff, the well-being of your staff? And today in this room, I have some of my staff members here. I'm not going to identify them. Of course, they know who they are. You can mingle with them. You see this table, plus all my associates. We work together, we grow together. I can go on holidays for 5 weeks, which I've just come back from. I stopped over 2 days in Doha, 4 days in Accra, Ghana, 8 days in Lagos, Nigeria, returned to Ghana, and another 4 days in England. And I was not stressed one single bit because I knew I have a powerful force behind me. And for those who don't know me, I started with one person. And today we have between 40 and 60 staff. I thank you.
This is the reason you are my friend. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, we all deal with lawyers. So, to close our speaker program tonight, I'm delighted to introduce a visionary leader who brings a global perspective to business and entrepreneurship, Abdullah. Abdullah is a seasoned international lawyer, strategic advisor, and a passionate advocate for human connection. He bridges the gap between vision and reality for entrepreneurs around the world, helping them navigate complex global landscapes, forge meaningful relationships, and drive impactful change. His expertise spans international law and diplomacy, strategic consulting and business development, global networking and community well-being, futurism and social impact, sports-inspired team building and leadership. Abdullah brings visionary thinking, creative problem solving, and expert guidance on international legal frameworks. He is also a dynamic speaker, I know from today, 5 hours didn't stop, and a workshop facilitator, so be gentle with him please, he's been all day MC another event. Well done, you did very well, congratulations. So he's also a dynamic speaker and workshop facilitator with a passion for empowering entrepreneurs to shape a better future. If you are a forward-thinking interpreter ready to make your mark, Abdullah is someone you'd want to connect with. Let's join Abdullah.
Mariella, thank you kindly for that introduction. And yes, 5 hours of speaking, because that was what was necessary today.
Oh, wow.
But I assure you that my speech will definitely not be that long, and I'll aim to keep it within your hopeful attention span. So thank you kindly, ladies and gentlemen. In life, I would say I've been fortunate to know that I have friends that are 18 years of age and friends that are 84 years of age. So I consider connecting with different people to be a honor and a blessing in my life. One ordinary day, nothing exciting or special about it, I was invited to a barbecue and we were sitting around and having a conversation. And I met someone, he was an elderly man, and he said to me, "Do you know what? He was an interesting person. He lived a very interesting, challenging, and inspiring life." He said to me, "I can explain my life in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. The summary of my life can be explained in 5 minutes." And then he proceeded to say he was born and he went to this school and that school, etc. And the story of his life, and it was 5 minutes. And he said, "You know, you and also the next person will also be able to tell about their life within 5 minutes." The point he was making was, as exciting as planning things and chasing after things and enduring grand plans for world domination, all of that could be explained in a time span of 5 minutes. So therefore, what is our focus and what is of importance to us? So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to note that I have put a slide calling it transcendence. Now, this is a word that may or may not make sense to you. The point of the word is that we are able to go beyond physical and psychological limitations and live a more instantaneous life as is. And I will hope to explain that within my speech. The known elements and aspects of this universe is very limited. We know we have knowledge about 5%. Our understanding of the universe is 5% in its entirety. It is said that it is made out of 27% dark matter, something that is not understood but deeply felt around us. Scientists and psychologists explain when a person is delivering a speech, such as I am, my words are only 7% of importance. My body language is 58% of importance, 38% is my tone of voice. And that's if the scientists are correct. So definitely we understand something, that there is explanation of things that is beyond our understanding, beyond our knowledge, but it is deeply felt and understood. Unfortunately, this world compromises of systems. The human being, as it enters this planet, is faced with challenges. Governments, states, policies, workplace obligations, systems on how to do things. Without knowing, and subconsciously, the person that is subject to those things is not really truly able to explain and express their own position. Why is this important? Because as business leaders, if I may relate it to business, that is, we come out with a yearly calendar of activities, employee policies, tasks to do endlessly, staffing issues, finance issues, and it is limitless in terms of our obligations and efforts. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't do these things. We should. But one thing we must consciously understand is the minute we finish tasks is another 3 tasks that is awaiting us. So what should we do in this situation? How should we try to understand this? This is how I see it and how I explain it. Currently, we live in the modern world. The modern world has certain way of doing things. If we were to turn our minds into more ancient times, let's just say we went to ancient Egypt, a time that is historically 10 to 15,000 years ago, and you had a system in place, a pharaoh in charge of systems or a leadership, and your average person, does not matter what their aspiration and inspiration is. It does not matter how hard they worked and how conscious they were that they would be limited in their output and limited in what they were capable of doing, despite being an excellent planner, despite having a work ethic that was 10 times more resourceful than those above. So we have to understand that we live within systems. This is not something that we have created. As a result, and knowing that we can summarize our life within 5 minutes, what should we become aware of? And that is something that we call consciousness. To have a consciousness to say that I exist, therefore I am. Meaning, we may not know all of the answers to all of our problems, but I believe what a hero needs to do is not know the answers necessarily, but identify accurately the problems. And all the people around us can help us come up with solutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to not necessarily inspire you in the business sense, but inspire you to understand that your consciousness is actually a very, very valuable part of you and an identity, and therefore you should never try to lose that. It does not mean that on this earth we should not work hard and we should not try to be having meaningful things. But can I say that I've heard statistics that in the corporate workforce, 80% of people are disengaged. 80% of people are turning up to work, not necessarily for the love of the work or to see people, but just to perform a function that for their existence. And that is a very unfortunate and very sad factor, and I can't see how that's going to be helpful for mental health. We can't necessarily come up with all of the solutions, but putting a conscious thought out there, I hope and feel that this will create a conversation that will allow ordinary people, not necessarily just business people, but people of all walks of life, to have a conversation about how we go about and operate about things. Also, when we look at states and policies and organizations, they all claim to be lasting forever. Ancient Egypt believed that they would last for millions of years. They built pyramids that nobody can replicate. Every state comes up with policies that they think is going to last forever. But our lives, my friends, is something that can only be explained in 5 minutes at a maximum. Yet we suffer for states, we suffer for systems that, for their own reasons, even they don't know, result in a situation where we are unable to express ourselves. So hopefully, as business leaders, one of the things we can do is to develop that consciousness, and what this will do for you. What this will do for you will allow you to connect with different types of people. I believe we should always be connecting. I know business people talk about policies to always be closing to do business. But I believe that we should always be connecting, because civilization or anything good that comes out of it, it comes through conversation, through dialogue and through connection with others. So, the message I want to give to you today is we should have a policy that we are a as-is policy, something that we are, as we are, good contributing people to feel conscious about ourselves. Because if we fail to do that, we will go down that rabbit hole where we look for the light at the end of the tunnel, which we'll never find. So we can become our own lights. We become the light. Therefore, we spread the light and share it with those around us. I believe if we do these things, not only will we be able to build a better world, a more conscious world, and to have those serious discussions as to how we should operate as a human being and as an individual. So, therefore, the message that I'm trying to conclude and deliver is if you're going to use your ability, your consciousness for something, knowing that your life can be summarized in 5 minutes, irrespective of how much you achieve and irrespective of what you may do, I would suggest you use your energy to focus on one thing, and that is to breathe. If you breathe, you can stay alive for a little while longer. So use that energy, use most of that focus. The rest of the things that happen around us is not necessarily going to be that important. And and the sad part would be if we're not conscious about this, we may reflect upon our time, upon our work, and upon our careers or whatever it may be, that we really didn't enjoy it. And that would really be a sad thing as an individual and as a society, and I think we've experienced that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion is we should have strength within ourselves as we are and not necessarily hyper-focus on things that may or may not occur. Because most people have goals and most people have plans, but they only achieve 1% or 10% or 15% of those plans. No person achieves 100% of their intention. So we need to really live and enjoy this life and understand one thing, that we are on a journey and so is humanity. So I hope you can take away this as a positive message. Thank you very much.
I believe everyone agrees with me. It was such inspiring speeches all our speakers had for us tonight, and a lot to learn. Now, we have arrived to the point that we are a bit hungry and to have yes, so feel free to join the buffet and also enjoy the music playing for you, and we'll get back to you very shortly. Enjoy.